Rams Saints. Rams win the game in New Orleans. They overcome the voodoo that is playing in the New Orleans Superdome. 21-14 is the final score in this one. Top 5 graded Los Angeles Ram players. Linebacker Omar Spates with a 94.1 overall grade. Offensive guard Kevin Dotson, a 90.9. Edge rusher Jared Verse, an 89.6. Wide receiver Puka Nacua, an 83.7. And then rookie safety Cam Kinchins with an 81.4. Matthew Stafford in this one, an 83.4 overall grade. On New Orleans side of things, a beat-up offense, so some new names at the very top, but shout out to him getting in here. Number 1, Dante Pettis, top of the list, 75.3. Wide receiver Kevin Austin Jr. with a 72.7. Edge rusher Carl Granderson, a 71.5. Offensive tackle Talise Fuanga with a 66.5. And then safety Jordan Howden, a 65.5. Derek Carr in this one, a 73.6. Is that told the story?
We've gotten to a point in the year where, as you might have noticed, I kind of go with, we have a big enough sample where we go, this is why a team wins, and this is why a team loses. And the Saints' offensive line is why they will win or lose football games. In their 4 wins, 83.9 overall grade. In their 8 losses, 55.8. In this game, a 50.2 overall. Their worst since week 7, especially in the second half. The run blocking really broke down. 3.3 design yards per carry in the second half. When they had a lead for a bit, it was a kind of tight, low-scoring game. They were still trying to run the ball and use their whole offense, but that's really where that was the number one concern with me for the Saints going into the year. When they win, their offensive line plays well, but it plays pretty poorly more often than they play very well, and that's pretty much just rides with the 4-8 record that they have.
For me, it's the Rams' run game. You know, I talked about Joe Mixon being a big reason why the Houston Texans can feel like they could win every single week because the floor is so much higher because of Mixon's presence on the team. I feel the same way about Kyren Williams with the Los Angeles Rams. To me, the floor of their offense is so high because of what Kyren does. 104 rushing yards in this game, 15 carries, 80.5 rushing grade, 8 first downs. I mean, this dude's a first down machine. He never goes down on first contact. He's always looking to make somebody miss. He's so smart. He understands running behind zone. He understands running behind duo concepts a lot. Those more power plays that the Rams have been running a lot more over the last 2 years. I mean, Kyren gets it, man. And I just got so much faith. I mean, look at some of the Rams statistics in this game. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up from the passing side of things, because we all think about, Rams offense. It's McVay, it's Stafford, it's Nacua, it's Cooper Kupp. Stafford in this game, 14 for 24, 183 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, 5 catches, 56 yards. DeMarcus Robinson, 2 catches, 49 yards. Cooper Kupp, 3 catches, 17 yards. Tutu Atwell, 2 catches, 39 yards. I mean, they're not throwing it all over the place, but they don't have to because their floor on offense is so much higher with Kyren Williams out there. So to me, his presence is exactly what told the story, because you didn't need a 400-yard passing game for Matthew Stafford to win, because you had a guy like Kyren to be able to hold the ball, hand the ball off to. So big-time win down in New Orleans, which we know is tough to get those wins. Most impressive or most disappointing? Sort of give you dealer's choice here.
I'll start most impressive. Why
Okay.
not, right? Okay, so, I like the transition there, too, with Sean McVay. Look, his best offenses are able to run the ball, right? I mean, we've seen that in the past. They want to run the football. That's what a McVay or a Shanahan offense is going to do. And I'll tell you, his best defenses always had Aaron Donald on them, didn't they? Because, that's all he's ever had. This year they don't. But what they do have is Jared Verse. And Jared Verse, I know there's 5 weeks to go, but if it's me, I'm handing him Defensive Rookie of the Year. 89.6 overall in this game. 6 more pressures. I believe he's got multiple pressures in every single game this season. The game-winning hit at the end on 4th down on Derek Carr, that was almost a strip sack, but his arm was moving forward. That's okay. Jared, you won the game anyway. Remember I mentioned Bucky Irving's the highest-graded rookie in football? Let me extend that list a little bit. It's Bucky Irving, it's Jaden Daniels, it's Brock Bowers, and then it's Jared Verse. Okay, he's the highest-graded defensive rookie in football. The balance there is what I like, too, with the pass rush, with the 6 pressures, and the run defense. All right, I got another one for you. Here's your list of defensive linemen this year with 80-plus grades as a run defender and a pass rusher. T.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, Dexter Lawrence, Cam Hayward, Jared Verse.
Not bad.
He's not just the defensive rookie of the year. He's already one of the best edge players in football. That's the home run that the Rams hit. They drafted the defensive rookie of the year. And I know Quignon's playing great. I know DeJean's playing great. There's some other guys around the league who are playing really, really well. It's Jared Verse. I'm not getting off this. I think the race for me is over because he's just going to continue to do this. He's already their best defensive player.
Yeah.
He's already one of the best edge players in football. He's the best defensive rookie in football. You could not have done any better after Aaron Donald retiring than having Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, Michael Hoyt, all these guys they have up front. You couldn't have done any better. And Verse looks like an absolute superstar, and he did again.
Nope, I love it. I was a big fan of Jared Verse. Really, the last 2 drafts when I felt like he was in the 2024 NFL draft. I felt like if he would have put his name in the 2023 NFL draft, I felt like he would have been a top 10 pick there as well. It was a little bit deeper and a more talented draft class in 2024, which pushes him down just by proxy.
He would have been right behind Will Anderson, right?
I think the Raiders would have drafted him at 7 instead of
over Wilson.
Over Tyree Wilson.
It's reasonable.
I think he would have been right there with the Las Vegas Raiders. So Rams fans can rejoice that he did not do that. Most impressive for me, Saints receiver diversity. I'm gonna go to the New Orleans Saints in this one because you don't have Chris Olave, don't have Rashid Shaheed. I think a lot of people looked at this Saints offense, myself included, and was like, "Where's the ball going to? I'm supposed to trust Derek Carr to throw to kind of these nobodies." And they're not nobodies. They're very clearly making a name for themselves. Some we've heard their names before, but obviously like Dante Pettis, but like Calvin Austin Jr. making a big name for himself. 9 different receivers, tight ends included, caught the football. Derek Carr completed 24 passes to 9 different receivers. They were getting it done in so many different ways. And again, it is just more props to Clint Kubiak, in my opinion, who is not afraid to dial it up, scheme it up, draw it up, whatever you want to call it, to whoever he thinks can get the ball in an advantageous position. And I think that for Kubiak to come into this situation and for the fully healthy version of the New Orleans Saints to look as good as they did out of the gate in those first 2 weeks, and then at this point in time for so many of their top playmakers to be down and him to still find ways to move the football, I think that Clint Kubiak's been brilliant, man. I really do.
I think if they can get healthy next year with Olave and Shaheed, right, I think they're one weapon away, and I've had this thought for a long time that weapon is Luther Burden from Missouri. They need yards after catch. Like, if they add that guy into this offense, like I do like with Kubiak that you've got Fuaga at left tackle who's playing better. You got Penning at right tackle who's still a little up and down but playing better lately. The long-term quarterback picture might change here, but there's at least a clear vision all season of what he wants to do. And the problem is execution, interior offensive line play, and their defense often not giving him enough chances to win. But Clint Kubiak, who knows? This is a team that fired their head coach. Who knows if Kubiak will even be there next year? But he's going to be somewhere next year
100%.
because he is
head coach or offensive coordinator. He will be in
for
the
all
NFL
the Saints struggles. For all the Saints struggles this year, Clint Kubiak is the last guy I can blame.
Yep.
And there's a lot of limitations on this team. He's going to be somebody in high demand if New Orleans doesn't keep him. You're absolutely right.
Most disappointing, real quick for me, just Saints defensive line overall. Ridgeway, Turner, Brzee, all these guys had run defense grades below 45. 29.3 run defense grade as a team. So obviously I'm praising Kyron Williams for the great job that he did, forcing the missed tackles and playing as well as he did and efficiently as he did. On the other side of things, I felt like New Orleans could have tried to contain him a little bit better, and they really struggled to defend the run in this game. So most disappointing is just the Saints defensive line, and I just put out a 3-round mock draft today over at PFF.com that you guys can check out. It's heavy on the defensive line for the New Orleans Saints, so you can go check that out there. What about you? Most disappointing?
Just Alontae Taylor. He's getting a shot to play outside instead of the slot with the Marshawn Lattimore trade. Just struggled in this game. Allowed 3 catches, 56 yards, all first downs. Missed a couple of tackles. Big pass interference in the fourth quarter that set up the Rams touchdown that gave him the lead. So I think he's just making the adjustment now to playing outside with Lattimore gone, and they're kind of finding out the hard way whether or not he's a piece they can stick with out there.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.